What's up, public? I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome back to FPL It Is. So, after 4 game weeks of green arrows, I finally have a red arrow, and it's a big one. So, in the game week 23, I got 28 points. That's a season low, which took my overall points to 1346 and my overall rank to 131k. This is a drop of minus 60k from 72k to 131k in 1 game week. So it's a law of averages. I was expecting it. The highlights for my team for the game week 23 were Matthias Nunes got an assist, clean sheet, and the maximum bonus. Chalobah got defensive contribution. As for the rest, they ended up with 1 and 2 points. Bruno Guimaraes and Palmer didn't start. So it was kind of a sad game week for me, and there were leaks too which allowed the other managers to know beforehand that Foden and Haaland will be benched. This allowed them to choose other captains. Luckily for me, the other captains didn't perform up to the mark, else there would have been a bigger fluctuation in the rank. So, for example, Saka, Rice, Gabriel, Ekitike, they all blanked. If any chance they did performed good, it could have been a bigger disaster for me. So that is the only good thing moving forward. And I do believe in my team. I have all the chips remaining. And I do believe like I have a good team to go into the next 4 or 5 fixtures. So first we'll start with the defenders. Some of the defenders that I'm considering to buy are, first is Mark Gahey. For Manchester City, there is an absence of centre backs, which will allow Mark Gahey guaranteed minutes. He also has expected goal involvements of 3.71. So starting in a Manchester City team with that XGI, expect some attacking as well as defensive returns in the next game weeks. The other player is James. He's fit and back in training with Palmer. Considering his next 4 fixtures, he can be a great buy. Now, when we look at the stats that I have presented below, the expected goal conceded, this was just to portray the expected goal conceded of Bournemouth to 31.39 for Bournemouth. It actually portrays that they are doing a very bad job defensively. So for the third defender that I'm suggesting to buy Senesi, there is a very less probability that he will be getting a clean sheet, but there are other factors that can be considered, like he has the second highest expected goal involvements among the defenders of 4.57, and he has some pretty decent fixtures in the upcoming 5 game weeks. Also, in the last 5 game weeks, he has got defensive contributions in four of them, so he can be a good pick in the next 5 fixtures. Now, moving towards the midfielders. One midfielders in my team that I'm personally looking to sell is Foden. And in the next game week, the only transfer that I'm looking to go for is Semenyo. The reason for it is, like, while I'm making this video, he is actually in 48% of the teams. The point here is, whenever he gets the point, half of the FPL teams are getting points. So it is better to be in the same boat and to have him in the team. So next game week, it's a very high probability that I'll get him in my team. He is also not in the Champions League squad, so that will allow him more minutes in the EPL. The more he starts, the more point he'll yield. So I think he's a very good buy. He's starting to. For me personally, I'll be transferring him in the next week. The second player I want to talk about is Szoboszlai. Personally, I believe like he has been just very unlucky. He has been giving consistent returns. He has scored in Champions League and in the last Premier League game. He has two tricky upcoming fixtures, but after that he has some decent fixtures. Stick to him. His points are incoming. The third midfielder that I want to talk about is Pedro Neto. The first reason is because I have him in my team. This week I got him. I transferred him in place of Bruno Guimaraes. It was a good decision too, because after just few hours, the price of Bruno G was reduced. Considering the next 4 fixtures Chelsea has, I believe Pedro Neto can be a very good differential. One fact that I like to present here is most of the masses are going for Enzo Fernandez, and like if you want to do something different, you'll have to go for a differential. I'm placing my bet on Pedro Neto. He is in like 6.5% of the squads, a regular starter, and with Palmer back in the match day squad, Enzo won't be playing as the number 10. So for that reason, I'm opting for Pedro Neto for the next 4 game weeks. Moving toward the forwards, when I was talking about Bournemouth that they concede goals, there is one fact that they score a lot of goals too. In the last 5 game weeks, Bournemouth has actually scored 11 goals, and in those 5 game weeks, they actually faced Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool. So they are actually scoring goal against top teams too. Considering the fixtures that they have in the next 5 game weeks, I expect them to score some goals and Evan Nilsson to be part of them. Moving forward, the other player that I want to consider here is Igor Jesus. So Nottingham Forest are coming back on track. Jesus has recently started all of the games and he scored a goal this game week. Considering the next two home fixtures, Crystal Palace and Wolves in the next 3 game weeks, I believe he can be a very good differential and a bet to place on. The third forward that I need to talk about is Thierno Barry. He's going under the radar. Guy has 4 goals in the last 5 game weeks. 5.7 million. He can be a very good value for money and a very good differential. Moving forward with the chip strategy, the one thing I would like to convey here is like we do not have much info, but we do have enough info to make a outline of how can we use the chips. So for that, like I have like two things in mind: the blank game weeks and the double game weeks. So one thing we know for sure is like game week 31 and game week 34 will be blank game weeks on account of EFL final and FA Cup semi-final. In EFL final, there will be two teams and their respective opponents which will be affected. Whereas in the FA Cup semi-finals, there is a probability that there might be four teams and their four opponents which might be affected. So this helps us to conclude that game week 34 will be a bigger blank game week. So considering the chip strategy, the only thing that I have for surety now is like the free hit which I will be using in the game week 34, which I consider will be a bigger blank game week. So my tip for the free hit is like save it till game week 34, as it will be a bigger blank game week, as for like around 4 to 8 teams will be affected because of it, in place of the EFL Cup where only two teams will be affected because of it. Now moving forward to the double game weeks, the double game weeks will be after the blank game weeks. We won't know anything before the game week 31. So my tip here is to save your wildcard till the game week 32, dead end your team till the game week 31 and implement it. It is not necessary to implement in the game week 33 itself. There's a probability like if a bigger double game week is in the game week 36, we can move forward we can start with the free hit and dead end our team in the game week 35 and then apply the wild card. So this is how I intend to use the chips for the wild card. My intentions are like, for example, like when I show you my team here for Verbruggen, the next two fixtures are Everton and Crystal Palace at home. Matthias Nunes is giving me consistent returns. For Arsenal, Leeds, Sunderland, and 26 might be a double game week. I already have triple up, so I don't need to make any tweaks here. For Chelsea, the next four fixtures are great. There is only one transfer that I intend to make is Foden, who I intend to replace it with Semenyo. I do not have any extra transfer plans for anyone, unless they are getting injured or banned. As for Thiago, his next fixture is kind of tricky, but after that he has some decent fixtures and he is at second highest scoring forward, so I do not intend to sell him. The point here I wanted to make here was I have a team which I can sustain till long. If they do not get injured or banned, I can easily sustain with this team without any transfers except for Foden. I do not intend to make any transfers in the upcoming game weeks. So hence I believe I can sustain my team and dead end my team like in game week 31 or 33 according to the info we get. So the only surety is like free hit, which I'll be using in the game week 34 during the FA Cup semi-finals. So one tip for you again here is like save it till the game week 34, which will be a bigger blank game week. As for the bench boost, we do not have enough info yet. It will be based on which will be a bigger double game week. So based on that, it will be game week 31, after which we'll get enough time to prepare for the fixtures. After game week 31, the picture will be clear and we will have enough time to make all the decisions. So hold your wildcards until that time and your bench boost chip too, if possible, if your squad allows it. For the triple captain, like my point here is like if your team is playing 2 games in a game week, you are encouraged to play the triple captain, and I do not intend to take all of my chips into the end. Like I do not want to have all of my chips in the last 4 game weeks. So if Arsenal do play the double game week 26, which is on the condition that they win the EFL Cup semi-final, if they do play the double game week 26, then there is a 100% chance that I'll be playing my triple captainship. It will mostly be on Saka or Gabriel. It will be Wolves and Brentford. You cannot expect for some better fixtures. So if they got to perform, they will have to. If like they have to win the league, these are the fixtures that they will have to go for and make the most of it. As long as they start and play 90 minutes for 2 fixtures, we can bet on them. Mostly 2 players will be Gabriel or Saka. So this was for the chip strategy. As for the game week 24 selection, one thing I've seen here is plenty of managers who are making different captain alternatives against Haaland. So this was a good thing to see. I'm trying to do the same thing. I've been doing this thing in the past too. In game week 11, 12, 14 and 16, I actually opted against Haaland. I have a very good example of game week 11 where Haaland was playing Liverpool. He missed a penalty, scored a goal and got 4 points. At the same time, Saka was playing Sunderland away. He got 12 points. I captained Saka in this game, in that game week 11. And that was the reason where I got a pretty big green arrows. So my point is, like, if you want to go ahead at this stage, you will have to take your chances. For the game week 24, I'll be putting my bet on Saka. I believe Arsenal title contenders, and if they have to win the league, they will have to perform big in these games. After 2 draws, a defeat, this will have to be a statement win if they want to show that they are title contenders. So I'm expecting a big win for Arsenal and a haul for Saka. This is not locked in, but most probably I'll be sticking to it, and I'll be keeping Saka as the captain for game week 24. For the transfers, I did transferred out Bruno Guimaraes for Pedro Neto, and I think it was a very good transfer because the price of Bruno G was reduced after some hours when I transferred him out. So I intend to keep Neto for the next 4 game weeks. So there are 3 options for me to keep the for captainship. These Palmer is fit as per the reports, so he is expected to start against West Ham at home. He can be a very good captain choice. With Palmer, the ceiling is very high. Tottenham are not good at home, and like it will be foolish to rule Haaland out. But I still believe Saka can be the differential captain going into the game week 24, and I'll be sticking to it. So this was it for the game week 23 review and the 24 preview. I hope you guys liked it. Take it easy. Thank you.